Hello. Today we'll be doing the mounting of the IBeam transducers onto the folding massage tables for either the quantum resonance crystal beds or the quantum resonance dream sound. And when you get your package, you get it all unpacked and you get your massage table laid out, ready to put some transducers on. There's a few things that you're going to need to do beforehand, and that is if there's any paper products, manuals, warranties, labels, bungee strappy things, you're going to need to take those off if they're in the spot where you want to put the transducer. If they're not, you can leave them be. And so with the IBeam transducers, they have the shape of an I-beam, and so that's why they're called I-beams. These are the upgraded versions to the stock ADX blue transducers that we sell. And these ones have a bit more punch to them, more refined and more expensive. And so for most applications we're just using 2. If we're using 4, it's going to be the same thing but with mounting of 4 of these. And so you have your 2 transducers, and we're going to set these aside for a moment. You're going to have a package of E6000 glue in a smaller 4-pack, or it might be a single tube, and that's going to be for assisting holding down the transducers. You're going to get a package of screws, which are the small black screws. They're only about the length of a fingernail. Well, my fingernails. Long fingernails might be shorter. But these are going to be for actually holding down the transducers. And then we also have another package of silver screws that go with cable clamps. And a cable clamp is something that wraps around a cable and has the ability to then put the screw into to hold the cable in place. And so, hence the word cable clamp. When we go to mount the transducers, we're looking for something that's going to be in the general area of the middle section of the massage table. You don't want to mount one all the way out to the extremities, because then only the feet or head are going to feel it more than anything else. If you mount one, let's say, to one side of this bar and the other to the other side of this bar, on this particular instance, this part of the massage table wouldn't get anything. So we could take this one and put it over here, and that way you're getting an even distribution of sound, and moreover, when you close this massage table up, this one is going to land here. And so we can't have these 2 in the same exact spots on opposite sides. In other words, if I was to put this I-beam here, when it closes, it's going to bang against that one. Likewise, if I was to put an I-beam here, or yeah, actually let's do here and here. If I was to put an I-beam here and here, and if we were to close this, you would see very clearly that this wouldn't work. So that's why we need to offset by the width of the I-beam. So we can do one here, and that works fantastic. We're making sure that none of these parts are in the way. It's okay if cables look like they're going to be in the way, because they're cables and they move. So just keep in mind you have that. Orientation of these buttons is going to be on the same side. It doesn't matter which side you do it on, it's just going to be on the same side. And so when it comes time to mounting, you're going to take all 20 of your black screws and insert them into the drill holes in the bottom of the I-beams, which are located on the sides. I use a screw gun, and I use it on a low setting. And that way I don't go all the way through the wood and then strip out the threads on the wood. Because the wood is soft, it doesn't have the holding power of, say, oak. So that's why we need to use it on a slow setting, and as soon as it touches the metal, you can back off and just say, okay, that's good. If you prefer, you can use a manual screwdriver These take a little bit more work because you do have 20 screws to put in, but you do know exactly how much to turn it. Once you have these installed and screwed on, you're going to take the E6000 glue and you're going to run a bead along the side where the screws are, where the wood and the metal meet. You're going to do it on both sides of the I-beam and you're going to put a nice bead on there. Once that's done, you're also going to take where the screw hole is and put a bead between the screw and the metal of the I-beam so it kind of connects the two with the glue. And basically what we're doing there is keeping the screws from backing out with the glue. We're using the glue on the side of the I-beam that touches the wood to aid in holding and maximizing the vibrations that go from the I-beam to the wood. And once all that's done, it takes about 2 hours for it to set up, and you'll still have plenty of time to install the cable. The cable that comes with the I-beams is specially designed for our systems. We're going to take those fancy cable clamps that we talked about. We have 2 cable clamps that are bigger in size and 2 that are smaller. The larger ones are going to go on the black portion, and the black portion is going to go onto this transom, the middle section of the massage table. It's going to go on the inside section of it where there's the thickest part of the wood. And so we use 2 of these cable clamps, and they're going to be about 3 or 4 fingers apart in width. And the first one, you're going to take one of these screws, screw it in place, and then the second one again. And I do it so this flashy part of the cable, the goldish part, is going to come out around the middle of the table. I don't want to make it so this is way over here, because then it's going to start to interfere with the legs. So there's the most obvious choices right in the middle area, right around here, to mount these cable stops. Once those are in place, the length of wires is different, so you're going to choose the shorter one that's going to go to the one that's closest, and then the longer one to the one that's longest. Whichever one feels good. These are labeled with a red and a black, and so the red and the black correspond to red and black on the transducers. You push in, insert the cable, and let go. Push in, insert the cable, let go. Once they're in place, it grabs really well. We also have 2 additional cable clamps here that are slightly smaller. And by the way, these need to go, these wires need to go underneath all of these wood pieces. So as you move and things like that, it's not going to get in the way. Take these cable clamps, put one down on each one, a couple inches away, maybe 10 centimeters, and just screw that down. And so what that's going to do is create a nice permanent bond here, and then we have another one with the cable clamp, nice permanent bond here. It's okay if you have some wire left over floating around, it's not going to do any harm. That is the end of mounting the transducers onto the massage table. If you find that you're having any difficulties, obviously reach out and contact us and we'll get back to you immediately with it. So thank you very much.